My gosh, Jack, I've done it.
What have you done?
I found a Pikachu I kind of like.
Which one?
It's a thick Pikachu. It's all cheeked
Oh, God.
up.
Double cheeked up.
What is it?
Please
what is the
stop.
first move? Clap? Cheeks?
Please.
Or something like that. And then the second one's just thunderclap or cheek clap. And it's just sitting there and
It
it's
just
like,
upset me.
Bust it. Bust it. Yeah, what it do? Welcome to the After Raid Hours podcast.
Yes.
Featuring your boys, JayTi7N. Wow, he went first for once? Wow. Okay.
Good.
And then JackJack.
Yes.
Illustrious guest, JackJack.
Of course.
Not really a guest.
I've been pretty much
1620.
Yep.
Let it be known across the lands that is the JackJack.
Far and wide.
Far and wide. To train them is my cause.
Jesus. All right, so let's jump into it. So
what, the busted Pikachu?
Well, the busted Pikachu can stop.
Bust it.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, what are they doing? Please stop.
Thick.
I do like the custom card. I'm glad people are getting creative. So that's good.
Right on.
Especially with all the other card scalpers scalping everything imaginable. Like,
it's a
this
tough
is
time
something
out
that
there
people
for card collectors and players alike.
Yes. And especially we just came out of our snowocalypse, whatever we want to call it, blizzard of 2021.
Yeah, let this be a lesson to all you guys that don't live in Texas that were talking shit about the people living in Texas. Like, don't ever talk shit about Mother Nature, because she's got jokes.
Especially in Colorado. One thing, if you ever come to Colorado, if you live here in Colorado, some things to take with the weather is never talk shit about it, never wish for snow, and never wish for warm weather. Like, I'm worried about this summer being over 100 degrees. Easy.
What do you mean worried? You just got to be prepared for it. It's happening.
No, it is, but I feel like the more people are going to put that energy out there, and Mother Nature's like, all right, bet. Like, hold my beer.
This so bad, I can't wait for it to warm up.
Yeah, especially after the snow. And obviously, hopefully people invest in shovels.
Shovels? I do need new shovels.
Invest for the summer in umbrellas, in water bottles.
Yo, stay hydrated no matter what the weather's like.
Yes, please.
Don't eat snow, okay?
Yes, there were so many white people I saw eating snow, and it was like really upset me.
It is disgusting.
And I say white people in general because that's usually who I see doing silly things. So
if you take offense to that, then you're listening to the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Ultimately, just like, because after the blizzard, a bunch of snow got through the screen into my window, like on my window. And I didn't want it in the window anymore. I wanted my window to be open so I could cool down the area.
Yes.
So I picked up all that snow that was in the window, looked clean, threw it in my sink, come back, the sink is just covered in black. Because of all the shit that's in snow. Do not eat snow.
Don't eat snow.
Please. Try not to let your dog eat it either, but...
Yeah, people think it's like pure... Like, there's people like, yeah, I'm funneling it off my rooftop. I'm like, that's like the worst. Because your roof has all sorts of shit.
All the bird shit and stuff on your roof.
Bird shit, sand, tar, whatever.
That's just how we get like a pandemic on top of a pandemic. Pandemicception for you idiots out there who think that's what Inception means. Yes.
But back to Pokemon. So things have been relatively calm. So right now we're...
Calm or boring?
Calm. Right now, today is a summer equinox. We're recording on Sunday, so it's a summer equinox.
Spring?
Yeah, spring equinox.
I was like, time out. Yeah, wait.
It is the equinox. Okay. I'll say that. So it's the start of spring. So I'm already seeing, like, my grass looks a little bit greener.
Oh, yeah?
It's a little nice.
It's greener on the other side?
Yeah. Like, things... And it's only just because we had, like, 3 foot of snow.
I thought I saw some buds off the tree earlier. Like, Christmas tree.
There were buds off of the trees by Olympic Park.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about, like, Christmas tree in the backyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
I think it's starting... Because I've been worried about it and all the snow and stuff, so... I was just out there looking at it. And then, yeah, like the trees are budding. I mean, again, in Japan, which we would be in like a few days, we would have been there. But
world's smallest violin for us.
Yeah, it's sakura or cherry blossom season. So those are starting to bloom. Carlos sent me a couple pictures of that. That's really cool. So
jealous.
Yeah, a little jealous. We'll go there. We'll be there.
Little Sour Patch.
We'll be there one day. But anywho, yeah, no, spring is technically here.
Yeah.
And I've been enjoying it. Like, today is a beautiful day. It's nice out. I was pretty done with snow. I was joking with some of my friends that I'm ready to move. I was like, I'm done with it. You know, the problem is like, I want to go south, but I don't want to be with the South TM, you know, trademark.
Jesus.
But, no, really, though, it's just like, that's typical Colorado weather, right? Like everyone.
Oh yeah, you just don't plan.
You get everything.
Don't base your plans off the weather because Mother Nature will have other plans for you.
So, that being the case, it was the spring equinox, or today's spring equinox. It's springtime in Pokemon Go.
Yep. So all the little pink deerlings
we've been
are
having
about.
the pink deerlings, which has been cool. I like seeing
They're cute.
those. It is funny to see the deerling silhouette on your like nearby Pokemon of Pokemon you haven't caught yet. And I was like, I know I have a deerling. It's like, oh wait, it's the other color.
Yeah, it's like, oh well.
And then you evolve the Sawsbucks. I love the Sawsbucks. The seasonal Sawsbucks are really cool. So make sure you keep getting your hands on those. They're really cool. They're really cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, it's kind of the same deal. And I saw this really interesting, not really interesting, but I thought it was really interesting, at least to me, that a lot of your bigger Pokemon Go content creators, like, let's say Trader Tips Nick, even he's starting to complain about the events. Like, there's just too many.
I don't even pay attention to the bigger...
I know you don't. I'm just saying, like, for the most part, and, like, I'm not saying they're shills or anything like that, but, like, most people were like, oh, they're just shills because they get sponsored by Pokemon Go. It's like, no, there's literally their livelihood. They're making content out of the game. And a lot of people go to those people because they trust in those opinions and, whatever. And when those people are saying that there's too many events or there's too much going on in Pokemon Go or whatever, like maybe there's a bigger issue at hand with that. I don't know. I just thought it was that's why I said it was kind of interesting to me, though, because it was just like, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, we've been talking about that for a while now, though. We've been talking about how there's way too much going on. There's it's just like event after event after event, and you're sitting there like, oh my goodness, how do I keep up? Or you could be just like me and like not really keep up.
Well, yeah, like my whole thing has just been finding things that I can enjoy in the game to do.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna get at. Is like I don't just try not to let FOMO rule you. I'm at the point in Pokemon Go where I pick and choose the events that I want to do. Or I do I don't really care about the weather trio or whatever. And I know I'm supposed to catch them all because that's the slogan. Mm-hmm. But I don't care. So
you'll catch them all.
I'll catch them all eventually. Because you know what's going to happen. The weather trio comes to our boxes. Yep. Or like research boxes or whatever.
Definitely.
Which again is a nice little avenue for those that don't really have the opportunity to raid with people. And again, I usually keep the small towns or rural areas in mind if those people are still playing Pokemon Go at this point.
They're diehards.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a little bit of everything in Pokemon Go and a little bit of something for everyone. So it's just like I pick and choose, like you said. It's just like, I'll do the things I want to do.
Yeah. And with that, so currently we have Thundurus in its, what do you call it, the terrarium?
It's the Therian form.
Therian form. So it's where he looks like he's ready to rumble. Like he's out of his cloud, ready to like fight some bitches. Which is pretty cool. Like I like his form. But again, it's not something I'm like, man, I need to go to a raid hour and use up passes to get him. 100. Because I don't think that form has... I don't know if it has a shiny form for that exact, like,
for just
style.
Form?
Yeah. I don't know if they have released... No, I don't think it does have a shiny form for that. Okay. The cloud form did. Like, all the cloud forms of Landorus, Thundurus, and whatever had shiny variants. Tornadus, thank you. But I don't think these other forms do yet. Which, again, like you're saying, eventually they'll come back in a shiny form. Because Niantic wants that money.
Money.
The only thing's kind of happening right now, like, what is this current event? We're in the Charge-Up event right now, which is nice.
Bust it.
There's lots of electric Pokemon, so the Thickachus, the Magnemites, Electabuzzes, Mareeps. I've seen wild Jolteons as of late. There's a lot of first and second stage Pokemon, which again is something they should have done during the Kanto event and just dropped the ball on.
Yeah, it just kind of makes me honestly a little salty about that because it's just like I'm seeing like there's a Jumpluff in your yard right now, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen 3 Jumpluffs today.
Well, yeah, and it's just like one that just needs to be out in
general.
More in general. Two, it's like. Well, again, why did you drop the ball in the Kanto event that bad? Like, yes, you want people to evolve. Evolving is a very integral part of the game. But
But
again, how fucking cool would it be? You tap on a Dragonite and it's green and purple. All right.
Yeah. Well, and then we just had the Legends event ish where even Arcanine was on the wild and he could potentially be shiny.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Granted, I saw like maybe 4 or 5 Arcanines.
Quick, why was Arcanine part of the Legend event?
Because he's a legendary Pokemon type.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding.
So if anyone remembers the show, there was a little mural or like tile historical thing in the show where it had Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, and Arcanine was there. He's in like the bottom right or something like that. Yeah. But I was like, Arcanine, and then if you look at his stats, he's called the legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, his dex entry says the legendary Pokemon.
So, and right now we have Mega Manectric. Is that how you say his name?
Manectric, yes.
So he just looks like a giant thunderbolt because he
was beating our ass the other day. I was a little worried at first.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Because my game like defaulted to sending out Rayquaza.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, it's Jesus a flying Christ. Type. What are you doing?
Because he had ancient power or something.
Yeah, it's just like what? Stop.
Yeah, and I thank the random people who jump into some of these raids because I definitely was just impromptu. I was like, let's see if we could take some of these, and some it's just like a mad struggle, and others because again I don't really care. Even if I lost it, I lost a free pass for that day.
Yeah.
So what? But especially when I invite people over and we lose the raid battle, then I just feel fucking bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And some of it is just random. Like, you're definitely a default, and I'm sure people by now have their default invitees. Mm-hmm. But then when I have baby accounts I play, I just send them out, and if someone jumps in, I'm like, oh shit, they're here. Nice. But that's pretty much the only thing going on. In a week, or this coming week, we have the, I believe it is called, let me find it, the Weather Week. So it's going to be focusing on what kind of Pokemons. So there's going to be...
Cast forms, right?
Yeah, shiny, rainy cast forms. So it's going to be water and... I think it's water is the main one. So you're going to have... And windy Pokemon. So this is where I kind of was a letdown in the sense I'm just looking at the stats now. Because if a lot of people are like me, which I assume some people are when it comes to the Mew quest...
Yeah.
The catching the dragons quest is holding a lot of people back. The dark quest has been nice, like catching like 20 or 30 dark Pokemon. You can do if you keep really constant surveillance of the rockets. Because the one for Sneasel, or not Sneasel, Sableye, is out there. And I think it's a lot more... frequent than the dragon one.
I was going to say, I like Sableye because it counts for both dark and ghost.
Yeah, the dual typers are the ones, but dragons are just few and far in between.
Yeah, it has to say roar, right?
It has to say roar in order for it to be Dratini.
Roar!
But I haven't seen just Dratinis out and about, and that's even walking by like water areas, trying to pay attention when it's windy, having incense out.
Yeah.
And this is one of those I kind of wish they would have had the incense special... attractors.
Like a dragon incense?
Well, no, because when they had the Kanto event, the one thing they did right for that makeup for like a certain duration was to have certain Pokemon come to your incense.
Oh, yeah.
So that was nice because I get like basically I think a Dratini or two every time I used it. It's just I wasn't trying to sit there for like 6 hours straight watching this because Pokemon spawns every minute.
Yeah.
But since they've made some of these changes going into the spring, the other thing I've noticed is anyone on mission, say for like Luckies, is that different stats of the game have definitely been nerfed. And we were talking about that earlier. So like I was used to getting at least 10 lucky Pokemon every 100 trades.
Yeah, which, first of all, let me stop you right there. 100 trades a day is insane, as it is. So unless you have, like, 2 phones, 2 accounts, or whatever, and you can trade back and forth, and you even, caught that many fodder Pokemon to trade back and forth, like, that's already a lot of grinding and work, as it is.
Yes.
I feel like 10% is pretty decent for lucky friends. In fact, I think that it could be a little more generous. Sorry, lucky trades. Mm-hmm. Just because, like... that it requires a lot, and I understand luckies are supposed to be rare and they're supposed to be meaningful. But again, I feel like Pokemon Go consistently goes in a direction to where it doesn't necessarily reward its players. And now, like you said, instead of 10, it's like 1 or 2. per 100. And so now, not only are you grinding out more because you're still grinding to catch the 100 Pokemon each account, in your case. But even in general, I want to catch 100 and I have someone that I can trade 100 with. I'm still grinding out catching 100. And yes, there's decent spawns, and you can go to a heavily populated area, spend an hour, hopefully get 100 Pokemon to trade. Yeah.
It's that...
2, I know it's cheap when you're best friends and you already have those Pokemon to trade, but it's still Stardust to trade.
It's still 100,000.
And 3...
Or 10,000, I should say, sorry.
Yeah, and but still Stardust, which is still a very lucrative and important resource in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
But then, it's fun to get the the lucky Pokemon.
Lucky Aurez.
The lucky Aurez. Because, you think about it, in terms of, we talked about trading cards earlier. Mm-hmm. You open that pack. So, looking at Pokemon cards. You open the pack, and you flip through, and you look at all your commons and your uncommons, and you get to the rare. Well, if it's just a normal rare, not holo or anything like that, Pokemon could still be cool, but you're like... Damn, could be a lot better.
Yes.
Your next pack you open, there's a guaranteed, there's a rare or even an ultra rare, like one of the full art cards or something really exciting to pull.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Cool. That's amazing. I pulled that. I feel really awesome for pulling that. Now let's imagine you bought a booster box. Instead of 36 packs, there's 100 packs. You only get one of those rares, ultra rares, holos, or whatever.
It would start to break
out of all 100 of those packs. And the other 99 are just flat, normal rares, no special arts, no holographic anything.
You're killing my high.
I'm just saying, that's what it feels like. Yeah. Imagine raiding 150 times for Shiny Mewtwo and finally only getting one.
That's a Corey effect. I don't.
Oh, that's a real thing that happened. Oh, my bad.
Poor Murph.
Murphy Laws, we miss you. We miss you. But anyway, it's like little things like that. So where it's weird because I imagine there's still a good amount of people to play the game, and they want to retain players. But when they make it more grindy and less rewarding, it's just insane to me.
Well, and again, that's just one thing that's got nerfed. The other thing that, in my opinion, being a little bit more of someone who can sit down and grind.
Come on, baby, grind on me.
Pokeballs from friends. I'm sad that whenever they say they reduce the amount of gifts you can open.
Yeah.
And then also I feel like some of the Pokeball quantities I get from stops. So if
2 or 3 from one stop.
Yeah, if you do more, because I have an area where I can hit 4.
Yeah.
And it refreshes every 5 minutes. And I have it down to if you sit in a place for an hour, you get basically 100. No, for about 2 hours, you get about 100 balls. 120 balls.
Okay.
Which isn't bad, but again, that's 2 hours.
4 stops, you're spending 2 hours of your day.
Yeah, continuous checking.
Basically on cooldown, which is 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes you spin that stop.
Yeah.
And that's if you have, I have nearby my place, I can go up the street to the Starbucks. Uh-huh. There's one stop there.
Yes.
And then I can go the other way to the park, in which there are 2 stops there.
Close proximity, yeah.
In fairly close proximity. So, if I want to go to somewhere with 4 or more, I have to go further. I have to go to Mission Viejo, or I have to go to... Yeah, because everywhere else they're just spaced out enough to where there's not a decent spot to sit. There's not a decent spot to even have a good rotation on walking around or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just I'd have to go to a proper park to get that kind of volume.
Or to a cityscape to have even something close.
A place that has, dense stops. Mm-hmm. So it's just if I want 100 to 200 balls, and let's just do it by the math, and I only have 2 stops to spin constantly. It's going to take me 4 hours.
Yeah.
Easy. And then I want a lucky Pokemon, and my quota is 100 a day, which is insane, but whatever. So I already spent those 100 balls catching whatever I can possibly catch to trade, and I get 1 lucky Pokemon.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the life I'm living. I think the thing that's been keeping me a bit sane is I do a lot of transfers to my Switch, to Pokemon Home.
Pokemon Home.
And it's also just a way to clear bag space because I have a bunch of Pokemon that I don't use.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'd much rather go to a game where it could be beneficial. And it also, again, I evolve up. So evolving's been my main thing to get XP. And going back to the good old days when we were trying to get to level 40, and I'm like, oh, I got like 100 Pidgeys. Let me evolve these 100 Pidgeys.
Pop the lucky egg.
Yeah. And now I'm trying to just be better about it because I'm also trying to gym more. I'm trying to coordinate with people to do trades. When we get lucky trades and so forth, because I'm like, I might as well use these up.
What would you say your motivation for that is? Like, why are you trying to gym more? Why are you trying to?
I'm trying to gym more, so I'm not spending my own money, and I'm trying to, even though people disbelieve multitasking is a thing, I try to multitask. So when I go to a stop, like I'll still go for my walk. I'll play Pokemon, but I'm focusing more on my walk and the music I'm listening to, more than catching Pokemon. It's more to hatch eggs during that time.
Right.
When I'm at when I park at like a legitimate park area to get spin stops, I'll have my phone set up on my steering wheel so it can spin, and I'll have like a book, or I'll have like notebooks, so I'm planning out shit in advance, or I'm doing some calculations, or I'm doing some personal reflection. That way my whole day isn't just based on Pokemon, because hopefully people aren't using Pokemon solely as their coping mechanism or something like that during these times, because the pandemic is still very much a fucking thing. But I'm trying to make sure that that's not the only thing I do.
Okay, that's fair. No, I was just kind of curious. I wasn't sure if it was like things in things in the game that Niantic are making you want to explore those options to play the games differently, or like you said, you're just trying to be more personally productive. And able to do that. And that's a good idea. Like, if you're already sitting at this place where you're not doing much, you don't need to watch your screen for that cooldown to come up every 5 minutes.
No, and I invested in technologies already. So, like, when I bought the Switch, I bought the Pokeball. So I'm actually trying to utilize those technologies, so I have that spin stops for me.
Yeah.
I don't use it to catch Pokemon. I'm like, just spin these stops continuously so I don't have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'll miss a time, especially if I get wrapped up in a book.
Did you ever take the Mew out of that ball?
No.
Nice.
Mew's, I forgot it was there.
Yeah, Mew comes in the bowl.
Oh my god. Yeah, I totally have not done that yet.
I don't know if it can only go to Sword and Shield from the ball, though. I'm sorry, no, Let's Go.
I don't even know how to transfer it, so we'll probably have to talk after this. But that's pretty much my main thing is that. So, like, my main thing is making sure I can get my health back in order.
Yeah.
And get other things in order. Because, again, times are changing, so people are getting the vaccines.
Yay!
Which is dope. Some people are just trying to be smarter about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Or trying to make smarter financial choices, personal choices.
Couldn't be me.
Romantical choices, etc.
Definitely couldn't be me.
And especially after the snowstorm that kind of did... it should have been another hard reset for some folks. And of, like, preparedness. And thankfully, like, I was in a fortunate place where that wasn't, like, the biggest of issues. But it definitely made me thankful for some of my prior things. So, like, getting the tree branches cut that were dead. Making sure I had shovels ready.
Having a storage of 2 months' worth of food, at least.
Yeah, so, like, things like that to where I wasn't having to run to the store and do that. And for Pokemon, I'm trying to make sure I have enough Pokeballs ready. I'm clearing bag space. I'm getting shinies out that I don't use. So, I have a trade with Linda, who...
Hey, me too.
Yeah, like, Linda always get luckies. But with her, she was like... since I'm working on my Lucky Dex, I was like, oh, I need an Alolan Meowth. And she's like, oh, I definitely have one of those. I was like, what are you looking for? She's like, well, I'm looking for, like...
Legendary.
Like, legendaries and stuff. And I was like, oh, like, which ones? And she's like, well, I could really use an Armor Mewtwo. I was like, done. And she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I have like...
I'd much rather this Pokemon go to someone who wants it as opposed to me just shredding it.
I wish there was a mini game to where all the Pokemon I'm shredding, I could just dunk through a basketball hoop.
Kobe, Game, Blouse. Yeah, that would be dope, but I'm just trying to find good uses for other things. So that's all I'm using the game for. Like, I like these events because there's a surplus of Pokemon, so doing my 100 catches a day is really easy because I could do 60 in an hour with an incense because you basically spawn every fucking minute. And then I have whatever is just around through the day.
You're telling me there's 60 minutes in an hour?
Yes.
Oh.
It's insane. I know.
Mind blown. No,
So that's pretty much
time flies. Okay,
that's pretty much my whole thing. And then if I could get lucky friends, I'm more trying to get lucky friends with my baby accounts that have some things I want.
Baby accounts.
Yeah, I have one baby account with like a couple shiny Riolus. So I'm like,
ooh,
I'm trying to get them off. Like, and I haven't got lucky friends with that account yet. So that's like my focus.
That's a good one.
And then others is just like literally just hunting whatever. So if I can get a shiny, dope. If not, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just taking it easy because, again, I put a lot of energy more into the Kanto event. That event's coming past, and that was the major event I prepared for. So now it's really just
the next one is like what's going to happen for GoFest, or
yeah,
if there's happens to be a cool event in between. I imagine there'll be another paid event of some sort, like a.
I'm sure.
Check out let's imagine like a shaman paid event, like the $8 thing for the pass, like they did with Regigigas and Genesect. I was gonna say Toxagen, but that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, is that you're saying?
I
don't think that's a Pokemon.
My brain don't work good. I legitimately though, I imagine there'll be another event like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same. I'm overly prepared in the game for the next fun event that I care about. The problem is that event hasn't come. Kanto came. I was pumped for it because I get a shiny. My brain was like shiny Vulpix, check. Shiny Ditto, check. Shiny Snorlax, check. Right. No, I never got a shiny Snorlax. And the shiny Hitmon would have been nice, but I did not get that either. Either way, though, and I was pumped for the Kanto event. A little bit let down. I think if they could redo it again, hopefully they know what changes need to be done. Maybe if they do a Johto event, it'll be better. But ultimately, I think
if Niantic finds a way to do worse, I'd just be sad for them.
I would be not surprised, to be completely honest.
They have so much material to work with. It's wild. One thing I was kind of curious about, just thinking about preparation and personal accountability in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Was I wonder how some of these events that they were trying to do, these outreaches to the community, how did those pan out?
Like which ones?
When they were like, hey, we want to sponsor some local businesses. I never saw any follow up on those. Did they accept some local businesses?
I feel see, the problem is I feel like a lot of was it post or pre-pandemic start?
Yeah.
It was pre, right?
It was pre.
That's what I feel like is once the pandemic started,
they just shoveled everything.
All these other things just kind of just fell to the wayside because it's and same thing happened with even our local events. We had our pre-tournaments or whatever, our labs is what we call them, right? We had those set up at the Piper Inn. Yeah. And we were going to start a really good relationship with them at Piper Inn. Mm-hmm. Food's wonderful. They're very accommodating. He has a gym in his parking lot, and he can set a raid time. So he's like, hey, if your peeps are going to be around here, we can he technically couldn't set the type of raid 1, 3, or 5 star or whatever, but I can't imagine if you schedule a raid for patrons that it wouldn't be a 5 star. Either way, he could schedule a raid for a raid for whatever time. Mm-hmm. So that would align with our events and all this other stuff, and we were supporting a local business, and he was in partnership with Pokemon Go and Niantic and all this other stuff. I thought that was a good candidate for the program that they were trying to work with.
Yes.
And then the pandemic hit, and then we heard nothing of that, but in our event with them had to stop.
Yeah.
And the same thing with all of our other events. And so you see our Discord's a barren wasteland compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because, we were not able to link up, we're not able to have our very illustrious community days, our tournament days, things like that. So it's it's changed, but so that's what I imagine happened kind of in the Niantic offices, right? Holy shit. We have a game that's completely centered around being social
and being outside,
being out with a whole bunch of people, and we're in the middle of a health crisis. We cannot do that. Yeah. But what do we do? So it's just all resources, all hands on deck. Let's figure out the solutions to this problem, and see how we can still make the game playable from home from lockdown, etc.
Yeah.
And so that's what I imagine. So all those programs, those nice programs, probably went to the...
They're just on hold.
Yeah, they're on hold, or, you know, had to just drop in tiers in terms of, like, their priority. Because it's, like, the same with when Niantic had reached out and said, hey, would you like to host an event in your city? Like a GoFest type event? And they had this whole application process, and they wanted a video and like a walkthrough of, like, what makes XYZ city so freaking cool to host an event like this, you know? And some people probably put a lot of thought and effort into that, and then
and then the pandemic was like
absolutely heard nothing about it, and there's no follow-up, there's like no transparency. Niantic's one of the least transparent companies out there in terms of what's actually going on for their game and for the community. Yeah. I appreciate the things that they do for the community, like for like social matters, like when the BLM stuff was going on.
Hopefully they do something for the Stop Asian Hate shit.
Yeah, you know, and I've seen a lot of organizations, you know, kind of support the Stop AAPI Hate and things like that, and like, so it's been really refreshing and nice to see as an Asian American. But yeah, looking at like that kind of stuff, it's like that side of things is cool, but when it comes to the game itself, what I'm investing into, what I've spent a lot of time invested into, it's just like I don't know what's going on, and I really don't know. Like, we sit here and you and I will speculate for hours.
Yes.
And be like, this is our wish list, and half the time it seems like someone's listening because it's like, hey,
like, noted.
Hey, that's a good idea, and I'm like, yeah, look,
just do it.
You don't have to give me much. Just give me a shiny charm. You know,
give me something. Give me a few shinies. Give me unlimited backspace.
My number one thing right now is I want Niantic to reward their players.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a hardcore versus casual, a filthy casual like thing. It's more along the lines of, if I'm playing the game, what is my incentive to keep pushing further in it outside of, oh yeah, I get to see my nostalgia-ridden Pokemon. You know, it's getting to the stage where all the new Pokemon are starting to show up.
Yeah.
And people, like, it already happened, like when Gen 2 and 3 dropped, like, people don't know those Pokemon, so they don't have that nostalgia factor. They don't, like, people see Pikachu and Charizard and they're like, oh my gosh, the two most recognizable Pokemon of all time. They're awesome. Charizard's a dragon and Pikachu's a cute little thing or whatever.
It's cute-ish.
Yeah, it's adorable, or, you know, some bullshit like that. But then you get to the newer generations and people, unless you just vehemently played Gen 3, Gen 4, 5, 6, whatever, you don't really care. Like, I don't care about the Weather Trio. I really don't.
No.
And I never did when I played, what was that, 5th Gen? I never really cared about
this
them.
This is prime time for them to bring back, like, Shiny Zekrom and Reshiram and those boys, and just have a whole, like, and it seems like we're going to have, this will be, like, more of a weathery year. So, like, all the weather, like, Pokemon and creation Pokemon will be coming out, because the new background even had, like, the silhouette of Sylveon in it. It had the deer. What's the deer called? The X one from X.
Oh, Xerneas.
Xerneas was there, and he was on top of the waterfall doing his shit, looking majestic. Yeah. And you see, like, Slurpuff, or that, it's an evolution form. I forgot what it's called, but that Con Candy-esque Pokemon.
That Slurpuff evolves into?
I forgot what it was. But
either way,
that evolution was there, so it's like there's going to be other newer Pokemon coming out. There's obviously still people we haven't seen, like Kecleon and so forth. So all I can hope is that they start bringing those boys out and doing something like that. I don't mind the influx. I like.
This is why I was confused. Sorry, you said Slurpuff evolves. It's Swirlix evolves into Slurpuff.
Oh, so okay. So that I was correct, but okay.
But no, to your point, what I would like to see, and I was kind of thinking about this earlier, and it kind of falls in line with one of my other things that I'd love to see in Pokemon Go, like its own, like, quest line or story outside of Willow found this discovery, go explore more shit for him, which is kind of the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see more game changing or impacting type events. And by that I mean it doesn't just change the spawns. It doesn't just change like the streamers falling or something, because I do like that aspect. I like how the world changes. It's not just like the April Fools, like everything's 8-bit, but it's just like
that was dope.
Which was a lot of fun. I really wish there was a toggle option in the settings. But what I would love to see would be like, fuck it, like stop locking it to generations. And be like, oh shit, the Weather Trio decided to come fuck up the Legendary Bird Trio's like property, or whatever.
They're having a turf war.
They're having a turf war between them, and then all of a sudden, like, instead of raids, there's like the world's changing. It's like very weather chaotic in the game or something like that. So it's supposed to be sunny outside, but it's storming in the game.
It's or opposites.
Yeah, or something nutty like that. And then there's like a storyline that goes with that. Something that changes things in the game.
We'll see, and that's where they could take from the movies. So like the Lugia in the second movie, Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
When the Weather Trio, when the birds got pissed off at each other and were having their gang wars, and Lugia is trying to bring harmony to everything, like it threw off all the Pokemon rotations and habitats.
Mm-hmm.
So Pokemon who weren't showing up in an area were showing up. So that's where they can do a whole regional shift.
Yeah.
Tropius could randomly show up, and it's like these Pokemon are out of their habitat, so you're going to see an influx of these until the storm settles, which means we need 2 million people to fight in raids and capture.
And in some other games, it's considered like an LTE or a limited time event or something like that. So like when you look at a game like Fortnite, for instance. But like Fortnite, what Fortnite does better than a lot of other games, maybe all of them, is like how their events and how they push their promotional material and how the events like kind of happen. So like they add a bunch of like Marvel characters or DC characters, other various video game characters like Master Chief and Lara Croft. So it's like all these other random characters that are running around, and like you'll have an event. So like they recently had like a Marvel event where like in the background of the game, as you're playing the game normally, Galactus is showing up and he like eats the fucking planet. It's just like
what is happening?
It's a completely like it's a world changing event, and then after that, like the whole there's a Fortnite storyline or whatever, and that all just gets altered because of the event that just happened. I would love to see something to that caliber, but in Pokemon Go. And like I said, I would love to see it not just generationally. Because at this point, the formula is, we release a generation this year, and the generation has X, Y, Z legendaries. We'll release those in raids. Go do raids. Oh, there's a raid hour. Go do the raid for an hour. Oh, there's this little tie-in event. There's a lot of electric Pokemon because the Thundurus is out there and he's doing whatever. But like...
the Thundurus.
Yeah. I just was like, I want to see the game change around that, like something insane just for that little event. For their actual events, do something more than just change my spawns for like a little bit and like actually incentivize me playing that.
My whole thing was another aspect I'd like them to dive into, which is just me personally, is to utilize the rockets in their tier battles better. So like I would like it to be something in the battle area, like the battle icon is just like rocket takedown area, and you just fight rockets and you can capture their Pokemon. And that's where, instead of like, because I'm on a mission now where it's like for level 48, one of their missions is like you have to defeat 14 or 15 rocket leads. Which I can do. That's not a problem. The balloons aren't as frequent, which is okay. I don't mind that. But it'd kind of be interesting if they just had a section in there where you can battle up and you can maybe get 3 leads a day max.
Like, hear me out. And like this could be an event. It's like it's a 2-pronged attack here because it's like what you're talking about and what I'm talking about.
Okay.
All of a sudden, Giovanni, the Team Go Rocket leader, takes over a town or whatever, a fictional town in game. Willow's Town, let's call it that, or a town next to Willow's Town. Mm-hmm. And there's a giant tower. So there's always, no matter where you're at in the game, there's a giant tower in the like in the background of the game. You just see
it's just an ominous tower.
It's Rocket Tower. That's what it is.
That'd be dope.
You don't really actually go there and interact with it. It's just on the map in some form or fashion.
I want to be.
But what
like
you do
Lord
is
of
when
the
you
Rings,
open,
where the R faces you.
or the R faces you like the Eye of Sauron. Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, oh my god.
You have my axe. Anyway, so then what you do from there is you can maybe open up the battle menu and you see, Rocket Tower Challenge.
That'd be dope.
Go in there, you fight five floors of regular rockets. A rocket lead comes out. It's Sierra, it's Arlo, it's Cliff.
Yes.
And then they bring in other leaders from other enemy games.
Like
Rainbow Rocket type. And
you can get apparel.
Things like that. And then so this rocket challenge, okay, you made it to floor 10, you unlocked the rocket's fanny pack. That'd be sick.
I want a rocket cape.
You get to floor, and so instead of just go battling against people, instead of just go battling against my trainer and beating Spark's ass every day, I have another avenue to fight rockets, and I don't have to go traverse the city for rocket stops to fight the same 10 people.
Yeah.
Or fight the one dude that says, sure is rainy outside, and then I have to beat his
or
polywag.
Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, and I have to beat on his Geodude.
It's just Dust Skull.
Yeah, it's
whatever
like
it says.
Like, give me, like I said, a Rainbow Rocket Tower Challenge or something like that. It's just like, so this is like in-game, you're like interacting with what's going on. Different unlockables as you make your way up the tower, and if you get to floor 50, it's Giovanni, and instead of he has the legendary beasts or whatever.
That'd be dope.
Obviously, we'll work on the details, but an event like that,
that'd be easy.
Like and like I said, the whole time you're playing the game, there's just an ominous tower in the background,
and it could be one where you can turn on your radar so you can see it, so it doesn't.
Yeah, like remind. Here's the rocket challenge.
Yeah, or it's just there in the corner. It's like it should be like kind of like a pick your quest kind of deal, because that'd be really cool.
That'd be fun.
I'd love to be able to do that, just to be like, I just want to fight people and get shit.
Or like the rocket balloon shows up, you beat the shit out of the rocket balloon, and you just like you tap on the screen and it says "Take me to your boss" or whatever, and it just takes you to the tower.
You beat enough of them, and it can make it hard. Like you beat 10 of them in a row, and it's like, take me to your boss.
Yeah, and then Niantic will find a way. And again, there's obvious ways to monetize that, which I don't implore Niantic do, but they would anyway. So I just like, it's just something like that. Give me some cool incentives. Yeah. To really play it. And then I feel like if you did that, like, say you can unlock apparel, you can get, I can't get Luchador Pikachu because I'm not getting to level 24 in Go Rocket, in Go League.
Yeah. And
I could just get good scrub, or I can really grind it out and work my way up there. Or I do 100 floors of this Rocket Tower Challenge and I get Black Pikachu because he's evil. No, but really though, I would
just do that. If I could get a Black Pika or get Shadow Lugia, that's how the shadows are there. Like
Shadow Lugia,
I would go for it.
I don't know where Shadow Lugia is. That's a given right there. Gale of Darkness was amazing. I just don't understand. Do something. Make that an event that affects the game. All of a sudden, like, instead of rocket battles, all Pokemon are Shadow for a second because of its influence.
Like we talked about, though, like, where a community day could just be, like, rocket Pokemon broken out and you can encounter shinies of them. Yeah. That'd be dope. I would love that, and just have the whole terrain go, like... And that's why I love other games, like, even like Among Us and other things, where just little parts of the area turn to this holiday season.
Yeah.
I'd love to see, like, pumpkins, or, like... Everyone is, if you haven't been on Facebook or some social media where you haven't seen the Christmas or like pumpkin Bulbasaurs.
Yeah.
And like haunted Bulbasaurs or whatever, or the haunted.
Oh, the fan arts of the different Pokemon, yeah.
I don't see why Niantic can't ever just tap into some of those and be like, hey, we want to adopt this design. We'll give you a commission because this is a dope ass design, and they just go from there.
Good. Make it Pokemon Go exclusive. Yeah, it'll piss off everyone else, but then get them to play Pokemon Go, and then you're like, oh, but you can transfer it to home, and you can then transfer that to whatever game of your choice.
Well, any of the celebratory ones, like costumed, you can't transfer.
I know you can't. I'm saying eventually they can, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see the day, but it's one of those things where Niantic has the resources, and again, right now I think it's good to stay hopeful and continue to have wishful thinking in there, because right now the game is at a pretty much not a lull.
To me, it's stale. I'm going to be completely honest. I think ultimately Pokemon Go, as it stands, is a good game, but it's stale.
Especially missing the big community aspect that it.
Yeah, and I think that's part of that is it's a game built on the social aspect of living.
Yeah. Maybe in a year, like they'll start doing stuff social, like because I wouldn't mind traveling to another area to go and play Go Fest. Like if they chose, hey, we want to go instead of Chicago, let's go to like Miami.
Oh God.
Or let's go to this other city and you can go and see the city.
Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle or San Francisco, or let's go to these other places so we can get a mix. Or like some of those people, like where some of them went to Japan, like they traveled all the way there to play Pokemon. I'm like, that's hardcore. Like, sweet baby Jeebus.
Yeah.
But that was cool. Or they just open up to other countries.
I mean...
And I'm sure they had that on the horizon, but COVID was just like, no.
And I think that'll be cool for the future aspect. On the side, though, I do think I appreciate Pokemon Go Fest being accessible.
Yes, that was dope.
So I do like the worldwide ticketed idea, but again, if I bought that ticket, make it just pop in my game. Like, affect the world, make it feel like I'm at a festival outside of the streamers and stuff. Like I said, that's kind of a good direction to start with. But...
overwhelm us.
Really though. Because going to Go Fest, I will say physically, it is overwhelming. There's a lot going on. Yeah. And there's a lot of things there.
A lot of people, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of just sites to take in. Yeah.
I do love Chicago as a city.
Yeah, because and I'm glad it made us move and made us navigate the different ecosystems. And that's where they should just have, again, putting it out there into the world, just have the genies versus the birds.
That would be fun.
Have them do a whole terrain shift that just fucks everything up, literally shakes it up, and then we just go from there. Have a rocket tower in the background looming over us. Have it to where the legendary birds could descend on you at any moment in time, and you have to fight them or whatever. Like, I would love to see just Zapdos descend from the heavens and be like, I'm here to challenge you.
Like, when the Galarian forms get in and you have to, like, chase down the fucking Zapdos.
Yeah, like, shit!
Like, the only way to get it in Pokemon Go is you have to run faster than 20 miles an hour.
Like, how?
Did you see that people with cards Daphne on the treadmill?
No.
No? Oh, okay, never mind. I'll tell you about it later, but that shit is so funny.
Goodness.
But ultimately, no, there's a lot, again, there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of avenues that they could explore for it. It's definitely not at anywhere near the penultimate version of Pokemon Go, or what it can be. But yeah, that's just the beef I have with the game. I think it's stale, but the base game itself is still pretty good and fun. Like, even though it's stale, the game itself is still fun. I just want more, and I know they can give me more. That's where I'm at.
Oh yeah, and we're trying to be understanding, of course, because it's a pandemic. There's a lot of shit happening in today's climate.
That's right, the panda bear.
Hopefully, once COVID starts to become put into more check, that we can start getting back to the community aspect. And
you can come at it with a steel chair, like, oh god, it's Jack with a steel chair.
Someone just throws a chair, it's like, let's fight, fuck it. Right. It'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. And I'm just trying, again, me finding stuff that makes it appealing to me is all I suggest for people to do now. Don't wait for the events to cater to you. Just find something that you want to do in the game and just focus on that until...
Don't feel bad not participating in events.
Yeah, also don't feel bad if I randomly unfriended you on this because I need gifts.
No, don't give that to him. Let him feel bad.
I don't.
If you're not on JackJack's friend list, you're a piece of shit. No, I'm kidding.
Again, I've been dropping people who aren't active in it.
Yeah.
And some people told me outright, and I don't hold it personally. They're like, that's not my focus at all. And I'm like, all right, you cut. Yeah. Dang.
Jack's just rude as fuck.
I just need people who open gifts, because I'm trying to get to level 50.
True. Where you at?
I'm at 48, and
what are you missing? Is it just the experience? I mean, obviously you have to do the.
I have to do the little missions. Missions
40
aside, I think I'm like 17 million under.
What's the mission that you're working on right now?
The Luckies.
How do you get? Oh, that's why you want the Luckies, and they nerfed it for.
Yeah, because again, I was getting 10 Luckies a day because I would do like 100 trades.
How did you do it? How did you?
Well, I'm sure he did it before they nerfed it. As simple as that.
When they nerfed it?
They nerfed it like within the last 2 weeks.
They busted it.
Yeah, because I was able to do it easy. Like, I'd be able to get Pokemon just like, oh, here we go. And trade up. Because I would do that with other accounts. But now, again, I don't mind. That's a first world problem that I will deal with.
Yeah.
But right now, the main thing is just trying to get that 17 mil. And so that's where getting friends who open up gifts and build up our friendships, coordinate to do lucky eggs would be preferred for like things for ultra and best. Okay. But some people don't. And I have it on my little, because I set up like a little spreadsheet trying to figure out if I catch 100 a day and do this, and I do this on a monthly basis and I do this, when will I get there? And it's about 4 to 5 months, which I'm like perfect. Because it's not rushing. Like, there'll be some days like, man, I should go fight this. I was like, no. Get some fucking sleep, Jack.
So like, tell you, man, I should go fight this?
Huh?
That's what you tell yourself, man, I should go fight this?
Sometimes, like, I might be like, if I see like a raid, I'm like, man, I should really go do that raid.
Nope.
And then other times I'm like, no, like, I'll be perfectly fine. The main thing is just spinning stops. Like, I make sure I do that. Because the whole reason I also sit at like a certain area and spin stops is so I can send gifts to everyone.
Oh.
I was on that mission for like send out 500 gifts. I finished that.
500 gifts.
Yeah, because I was sending an average, all my baby accounts and that, I was sending out maybe 30 to 40 gifts a day.
Nice.
And then hopefully again Niantic stop being fucking cowards. Just open up to 400 or 500 friends.
Yeah.
And your friend list. Then.
But didn't you say they were thinking about changing friend stuff?
Yeah, they say a lot of things, and I hear a lot of stuff through the grapevine. I just want to see.
I heard it through the grapevine.
So I just want to see these changes. I don't want them to be speculations or wishful thinking anymore. I want a lot of good changes.
I want results.
Yeah.
Cool.
2020 is the time to get shit done. So let's get shit done. Yes. 2020 was just having shit done to us.
True. True. So. All right. Well, stay safe out there. Yeah. We love you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Don't be silly. Stop Asian hate. Yeah. Stop white terrorism. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Bye.
Bye.
Boss it. Boss it. Boss it.
Yeah.